Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle, the wrestling video podcast I run here on youtube.com/UC Campbell. And this episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle is going to focus around WWE Smackdown Live on October 17th, 2017. But before we get into the show, we are going to, I'm going to be kind of saying this throughout all my reviews, as I'm also kind of marathoning them today. I still got to watch NXT, so that's going to be coming up either later today or that's going to come up tomorrow. I've been falling behind again. That's on me. That's on me, guys, that I fall behind on that one, and I'm sorry for that. But before we do that, this Sunday, actually, it's already starting right now as of this moment. I kind of put it up yesterday, everything in that sense. I'm doing a giveaway for a 3-month WWE Network card. There is a link in the description for you guys to follow in, and there will be multiple ways for you to potentially enter in that one. Most of which are free to you. There is one that has a paywall behind it on the Twitch subscriber side. I boosted the amount of entries you would get based off of that factor, that there is a paywall on that, but it is not necessary to do that in any way, shape, or form. By all other means, I think there's probably about another 6 or 7 ways for you to enter free of charge to go along with that. I'll actually make a video for that in particular. I'll either release it. I'll either release it later today, or I'll release it tomorrow, as well as doing the NXT review in that sense. But on to SmackDown for this week. SmackDown this week started off with Daniel Bryan coming out. They were in his home state of Washington. They were in Seattle, so he was getting the massive pops, everything in that sense. He starts running down the show, makes an announcement about the 6-woman tag with Charlotte, Becky, Naomi, Tamina, Lana, and Natalya. And he calls out Sami Zayn as well, saying that he was disappointed over his actions, everything in that sense. Sami Zayn comes out. He doesn't fully wait for Daniel Bryan to say, come out, in that sense. And I love how Sami Zayn is with his heel turn at this point in time. He's doing a great job of keeping everything the same, but snarking it up just a little bit extra. In that sense, he's like doing a little bit of overboarding with everything he normally does. His voice tone is a little bit different too, to go along with it. I like where he's going with. He comes out there and says, "I'm still the same nice guy. I'm just taking control of my career," and everything in that sense. He starts running down Daniel Bryan. This eventually brings out Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is doing the exact same thing, and then points out to Sami and says, the Sami's like, well, Daniel Bryan has become what he hates. The Authority. He has become the Authority. And this eventually leads to Sami Zayn calling Daniel Bryan a sellout. In that sense. And throwing up a few other insults to go along with it. I think he even called him a housewife at one point. Daniel Bryan goes to leave. They start continuing, or they continue on with their little snarkiness and everything in that sense. And Daniel Bryan, and they ask where he was going. He's like, well, I'm going to go, and this is like his new favorite line, I'm going to go find someone to punch you two in the face. That's his favorite line now. I'm going to go find someone to punch you in the face. Or he talks about how much he would like to punch somebody in the face, but he can't at this point in time. This was a good segment. Actually, a lot of the stuff here was pretty good and interesting to see where they were going with everything. There was a couple of segments in the show that I felt were kind of meh, not much of anything. But overall, I thought the show was pretty decent. A pretty decent show for SmackDown this week. So the first match of the night after this segment was Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Naomi going up against Tamina, Lana, and Natalya. And it was a pretty decent match. The match was kind of there. It was kind of just made, and that's how it ended up feeling. I thought the match itself was decent enough. Charlotte picks up the victory by putting Lana in the figure 8 and making her tap out. And It was interesting to. I guess it was interesting to know. And I guess they wanted to play this off that they had been putting Carmella and Natalya too much. So you have Miss Money in the Bank teaming up with the women's champion all the time. So they put Lana in this position. Carmella was at the commentary table. But really didn't serve much of anything there other than the continuation of reminding everybody she's here and she has the Money in the Bank contract and can cash it in at any time. Like I said, this match kind of felt like it was there. They do have a little bit of continuation that kind of says that, oh, they're going to continue on with Charlotte and Natalya for the time being. After the match, Natalya goes after Charlotte again, goes for the chair. This time Charlotte reverses it and then chases off Natalya with the chair. Not a bad segment. Not a bad segment, just felt like it was kind of there. It didn't really feel like it was serving too much of a purpose. Though you did get the nice little brawl after the match with Charlotte and Natalya to continue on with that storyline in that side of everything. So after this, Daniel Bryan runs into Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn backstage, and he was talking about, and Sami and Owens were like, oh, so did you find someone who's willing to go out there and punch us in the face? I love their snarkiness that they have about this. It's done really well. I do like what they're doing with this. And he's like, yeah, I did find somebody. Matter of fact, everyone volunteered in the back. Everybody volunteered. But the two that I'm choosing are Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton. So you're going to get that as a tag match later on in the evening. And again, all of a sudden, Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton teaming up again with each other. So this leads us to Pulp Fashion, the Fashion Files show back up. So we finally get this Pulp Fiction spoof of the Fashion Files, which it looks like it's going to continue on in that variation, because you didn't get too much saying that it was kind of a Pulp Fiction-y outside the whole briefcase side of everything, and maybe a couple little instances. I know they make a cheeseburger reference from there. The Ascension are doing great. They are amazing in these segments. This one was pretty good. I like how the Ascension were going to reveal that it was the Bludgeon Brothers to Breezango, but something gets interrupted, or they interrupt them. As Tyler Breeze was choking on the cheeseburger, the Ascension offered to help, and it's like, but we'll only help if we become best friends. And they were, it was good stuff. So during this time frame, the briefcase that they had disappears. So they're left with a whodunit type thing. You're going to kind of assume the Bludgeon Brothers. This looks like we're finally going with it in that sense. And it'll be interesting to see, because we did have another Bludgeon Brothers vignette later on in the show. Matter of fact, just a couple of segments down. So I'll just go through that right now. I'm left wondering why they have the hammers. I don't know why they have the hammers in any way, shape, or form, other than it just they're attempting to make themselves look cool with that. And you almost get a sense that Luke Harper doesn't really care for this one all that much. The promo that they delivered this week, like Eric Rowan, felt 100% behind everything, but you could kind of tell that Luke Harper wasn't delivering his same style of promo that he would typically do, which he is a good promo. We've seen it in the past. I think he's relatively good on the mic. He's a good promo, but you didn't get that feeling here. And usually he's the lead on the terms of the talking and everything in the side between the two. But it felt like Rowan was doing a little bit more here than Luke Harper was, and you just kind of tell in the tone of his voice as well that something didn't seem fully right with Luke Harper in that sense. So this brings us to Baron Corbin going up against Sin Cara, and they played off that Baron Corbin was gonna he teased the fans like, oh, we're going to do the U.S. Open Challenge. No, we're not. And he says he's shut down for good. The U.S. Open Challenge is shut down for good. No opportunities for Sin Cara. And then Sin Cara goes out there and basically dominates the entire match and then eventually wins by countout. I can't imagine this going for too long because I don't feel like this will be his first full feud after winning the United States title. It just doesn't feel that way to me. But it's something that kind of tied them over until what they're going for. So we're probably going to see another match next week, and we might see something else down the line here. I don't know. I would assume this is going to lead to some kind of U.S. title match if it's like 2 weeks in a row where Baron Corbin or Sin Cara finds a way to win or something in that sense. To go along with it, I feel like we're going to get something with the U.S. title with this match at some point in time, but I don't feel like it's going to be a first full feud for Baron Corbin in the U.S. title side of everything. Up next, you had the Usos doing an interview backstage. Basically, these guys are, and wow, the more that I've seen it with other sides, yeah, they are full on just tweeners now. They are not heel nor face. They're kind of just them. They're just them at this point in time. And it's really good. Let's not get this wrong. The Usos, I was a fan of the Usos beforehand. I always liked their in-ring work. But the stuff that they showed after turning heel last year on American Alpha and up until this point with the New Day and everything in that sense, has been top-notch. Not just in terms of their in-ring. Their in-ring's always been good. It's been their promo work, their character work, everything has been a lot better over this last year. Like I said, I've always been a fan of their in-ring, but they have shown how good they are over this last year, doing heels and basically kind of working themselves into a tweener section, being a kind of a face, heel, whatever they feel like being. They're kind of, because they're showing respect to teams for winning, and or not for winning, but for, you know, showing good. Just being good matches, everything in that sense. This eventually leads to Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin coming in. They were basically going like basically kind of talking in their own rap variation for the going after the Usos, saying it's like, hey, we're the #1 contenders now. You're gonna be getting us here. But it's like up until that time frame though, respect. And they go to shake their hands. And then they do the heel move and retract it. And Chad Gable, you're amazing. It's like, he goes like, think about it. And as they just walk off. It was good stuff. And I don't know if that's going to necessarily make them heels, or if it's going to make them just kind of being them at that point in time. If it is going to be that way, I feel like this is going to end up being really, really good with that side. I feel like they can put on some good tag team matches. Gable's always been good. Shelton Benjamin's been really good since coming back. And the Usos, they've been phenomenal this year and everything in that sense. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to their tag team matches down the line here. So up next is Jinder Mahal. They were advertising that he was going to have an announcement. So his announcement coming out there, you know what? I'm actually kind of digging. Like I said, I am actually kind of digging the Jinder Mahal thing. The certain things that they've done, I've not been a big fan of, but overall, I like Jinder Mahal with the title, everything in that sense. He comes out there and he challenges Brock Lesnar to a match at Survivor Series. That's his next challenge. So lo and behold, you know, he's challenging them or Brock to a match at Survivor Series. Well, he's got nobody on Smackdown to go after. Well, lo and behold, that brings out AJ Styles. So AJ Styles, even though it's not fully the case, because I think Jinder Mahal does have a match over him at some point in time, but he comes out there, basically saying he hadn't beaten him yet, and basically takes down Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers, eventually leaving forcing Jinder Mahal to run away after nailing him with a Pele kick. Pretty good segment. Pretty good segment again. I do actually like the promo work that Jinder Mahal does. He gives good intensity, everything in that sense. He was talking about, you know, his trip to India, and everything on that side of it. And it looks like AJ Styles is going to be the next feud for Jinder Mahal with the WWE title. Probably after, or probably kind of like in between this thing with Survivor Series with Brock Lesnar. And then kind of takes a quick break. And then probably furthers along down the line to go along with it. So that'll be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see if they decide to keep the title on Jinder Mahal going further after the India tour, everything in that sense as well. You can kind of imagine that they might take it off of him after that, but they might even really do the full JBL treatment that they did a long time ago, where he had that title up until WrestleMania. There's a chance that Jinder Mahal might have it going into WrestleMania to go along with it. So we'll see how everything goes off. There was one backstage segment that basically Jinder Mahal goes into Daniel Bryan's office, asks him what he's going to do about that, and it's like, and Daniel Bryan versus like, what are you going to do about it? It's like, well, one of those things is going to face him next week in a one-on-one match. Okay. So that was what it was on that sense, and just set up for next week. And like I said, it kind of solidifies that AJ is going for Jinder Mahal at this point in time. So this brings us to by far the most disappointing point of the night, which was Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler. And it's not that the match was bad. I thought the match was actually quite good. It's just that they're going to keep the feud going. And you can tell that they're going to keep the feud going because they had Dolph Ziggler pull out the victory with a roll-up with the handful of tights, just like the pay-per-view. You were I think a lot of people were kind of hoping it's like, okay, this will just be a glorious DDT over with, get Bobby Roode off to his proper feud, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to end up feeling on this one. Obviously, we're going to see more from this down the line, and I guess they're trying to keep this going until whatever they have planned for Bobby Roode at that point in time. But I was not a big fan. I'm just not a big fan of this one continuing on in some way. But if they were going to continue on, yes, it does kind of make sense for Dolph Ziggler to get a victory in that at that point in time, by any dubious means necessary. So it was what it was on that. But I'm not keen on really seeing this go on for too much longer. So hopefully it kind of comes to a headway very soon. I don't know if that's going to be the case. We'll see how that one ends up playing out. But it's also very interesting that they kind of had Bobby Roode get beaten so quickly since coming up. Like, he had one pay-per-view match, and then he immediately gets beaten after that to go along with everything. So it's like, what are they truthfully going for with Bobby Roode on the main roster? Like, they had a clear, distinct thing in NXT for him. Here on the main roster, it's like, he's just doing the glorious thing. That's all he's doing. That's the only thing going on. But like, they had clear, distinct character work for him down there, but you're not getting that up here on the main roster, or at least not yet. It's only been, what, a couple months since he's come up, so I'm kind of holding, reserving judgment for a little bit longer on that side of everything. So we'll see how it ends up playing out down the line here. So up next was a backstage segment. You had Aiden English walking around singing. You had someone being wooed by his singing, and then he walks up to two guys who were just, one was looking at the phone and the other one was looking at his phone to go along with it, and just not paying any attention. So he gets angry at that. He does not like people on their phones while he is singing to go along with everything. And basically it's like, what if that doesn't actually make you like something? What do you actually like? What do you actually like in the end? Ring in the New Day. New Day comes in. And those two guys start hamming it up. They start hamming it up, massively dancing around with the New Day. everything in that sense. This does eventually get interrupted, though, by Rusev, who is like, Rusev basically is like, it is no longer a new day. It is just Rusev Day. And it was like, everyone was like, oh, it's Rusev Day again? It's like, every day is Rusev Day. And I love the New Day's reaction. It was just like, well, let's celebrate Rusev Day then. And Xavier starts playing Rusev's theme song on the trombone. Good stuff. Aiden English starts singing the Rusev Day song again, and Rusev just stops him and is like, it's not the time for that. And they cut out. I like this segment. I thought this was good. It legitimately was like them playing it off as being completely serious, but also being funny to go along with it. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. So, this brings us to the main event, which was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn going up against Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton. This is a good match. A very good match. It was a very enjoyable one on all sides here. All four of these guys work together really well. It does, and again, they're kind of playing off of Sami Zayn being more heelish in a sense. Not necessarily being heelish throughout the match. He wasn't doing like, oh, I'm going to poke the eyes, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. He wasn't doing massively underhanded tactics. It was the aspect at the end of the match when Kevin Owens had the referee distracted. He gave Randy Orton a low blow after countering the Hangman DDT, Haluva kick, pin. And this is where things get a little bit interesting. So afterwards, after the match, they go backstage. They're celebrating everything in that sense. And Daniel Bryan's back there. And Daniel Bryan's back there. They start mocking Daniel Bryan one more time. Everything on that side of everything. And he says, and it's like, and they go off and say, it's like, what are you going to do about it? Well, I'm not going to do anything about it. Or it's like, it's not saying that I'm not going to do anything about it. It's not going to be my full decision. It's going to be Shane's decision next week. And then this is where things get a little bit more fun, because for whatever reason, I guess they had still a few moments left in the show, and it's like, we need something more. We need something more here. I don't know what to do. They send Sami, because they were supposed to have this look of, it's like, oh crap, Shane's back. What are we gonna do? But then they are sent back out there, and basically they start gloating in front of the crowd about how they beat Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura, and then you have Kevin Owens just loud on the live mic as Sami Zayn's hugging him. It's like, hug me, hold me tight, as they fade to black. It's like, it was one of the best lines I heard of the entire night. It was just the chemistry between both of them. It just works great. And I guess that plays off the fact that they've been actual friends for so long, everything to go along with it. But it was just an amazing little bit. Either they did things out of order, or it's like, oh crap, we need to fill a little bit more time because we still got like a minute or something like that. And just sent them back there. So either they were supposed to do that beforehand and then meet up with Daniel Bryan, or they were supposed to meet up with Daniel Bryan. That was how this show was going to end. But then they send him back out there. That was, oh my god, that was a hilarious little bit at the end there. I thought it was great. So overall, initially the way I was looking at it, it's like I didn't feel like the show was all that good, but I kept thinking about it. I kept thinking about it more and more and more and more and more. And it's like, yeah, this show is pretty good. This is a pretty good show this week for SmackDown. I did end up liking it. In that sense of everything, you had little comedy bits here that I thought were pretty good. The stuff with the Usos and Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin I thought was good. Most of the matches on the show were decent enough. You have a setup between Baron Corbin and Sin Cara now. We'll see how long they actually play off of that. I don't think that's going to play off too long. I'm not too keen on the whole aspect of Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode continuing, but it looks like that's where that's going to go. But the stuff with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and I like the match with them and Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton. I thought it was really good. But the stuff at the end as well, I thought was absolutely great. And during their promo in general with Daniel Bryan earlier in the show, I thought was really good as well. So, that's pretty much everything I have for SmackDown this week. So, again, I thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in the giveaway, there is a link down in the description. We'll be giving, the contest should be going through Sunday night till midnight, Arizona time. And yeah, also be on the lookout for the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs live reaction over on my Twitch page on that side of everything. Again, I hope you guys enjoy everything. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Laters.